Today, Blake Lively thinks that she's won the war, but Baldoni's basically saying, you just won a little battle.
He's saying, not so fast.
We'll talk about the BET Awards, which were last night. Jamie Foxx, he tearfully accepted an Icon Award, and Kevin Hart roasted some of the people in the audience.
I loved it. Some good moments.
And finally, we'll talk about the Diddy trial, because yesterday was a big day, and today there was a big ruling on the mistrial
that he was asking for.
Yeah, Diddy was asking for a mistrial, and the judge just announced what they're going to do.
Yep.
We'll remind you that we're live.
We're live. We're a little late today, but thanks, guys, for waiting for us. As you guys know, leave the comments on our YouTube page. We will get to those at the end of the show. Any comments you want to say about any of these stories?
We have a shocking update in the legal battle between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. While some media outlets are calling it a victory for Blake, the truth is a lot more complicated than that. Justin's lawyer, Brian Friedman, has just revealed that more evidence is coming forward in this case. So, let's break down exactly what's happening and why Blake Lively's victory lap might be premature. First of all, let's talk about the news that dropped just recently. The court dismissed some of Justin's defamation claims against Blake Lively. However, what the media is failing to mention is that this doesn't mean Blake won. Yes, certain defamation-related claims have been dismissed by the court, but that doesn't mean Blake has won the case.
Are you team Blake? Are you team Justin Baldoni? Let us know. Or if you have something you want to say about us. I always get scared of those comments.
We'll take it. we will take it. To begin with, Justin Baldoni this morning is firing back at Blake Lively.
Yep.
Basically saying, you didn't win anything. We're still as confident in our case as we've ever been. This is despite a judge dismissing his $400 million defamation lawsuit.
All his lawsuits. The lawsuit against Blake and Ryan, the lawsuit against the New York Times, a $250 million lawsuit. I mean, this was a massive story yesterday because we finally have seen which way is this going. And, it was such a big win for Blake. I mean, she released, a statement about it yesterday, celebrating
outright. There's an important distinction that needs to be made. Justin's legal team didn't lose because they couldn't prove their case. It's that the court dismissed certain claims on procedural grounds, not because the allegations were proven false. This is a critical point, as it means the battle continues. Brian Friedman, Justin Baldoni's lawyer, made it clear that Blake's legal team's attempt to declare victory is premature. In fact, the court invited Justin's legal team to amend and move forward with 4 out of the 7 claims that are still alive. What this means is that there's more evidence to come, and the case isn't going away anytime soon. Justin's team will now showcase additional evidence and refined allegations that will shed light on the truth behind Blake's accusations. It's a major development, and it's clear that Justin's side is not backing down. One of the most frustrating parts of this entire situation is the way Blake Lively and her team are attempting to spin the outcome of the case. After the ruling, Blake was quick to celebrate and take a victory lap, using platforms like Instagram to boast about standing with organizations that support her and thanking those who have stood by her side. Blake also made an appearance at a Chanel event, where the media reported that she was celebrating her victory. However, this couldn't be further from the truth. She has not proven her claims in court, and the situation is far from over. Blake's team has claimed victory, but they failed to acknowledge that Justin's legal team is...
And Justin Baldoni, he still wants to put up a fight.
But do you think then, because I was under the assumption that this was just like a little part of the case that she had now won, but that there was far more to come as well. Or
this was all his lawsuits.
You think this is the biggest one, and so now
this is definitely the biggest revelation to come out of the case.
So she is sitting pretty, and he is got his.
And by the way, he was trying to dismiss her lawsuits against him, but that hasn't been ruled on yet.
Because she still has a defamation case out against him, doesn't she? Which hasn't been dismissed.
No, not yet.
Interesting.
But look, there is an opportunity for him to refile something, an appeal. It appears like he is planning to do that. He's still confident that he was wronged Remember, this all has to do with the big New York Times story, where Blake they talked about like all the drama from the set of It Ends With Us. He felt it
not backing down. The ruling didn't exonerate Blake. It just dismissed certain claims based on the complex nature of the legal process. It's frustrating to see Blake out there celebrating when the truth hasn't been fully uncovered yet, and her allegations are still unproven. The legal fight is still ongoing, and Justin's team is committed to seeing it through. Justin's legal team isn't going to let Blake's PR campaign cloud the truth. Brian Friedman's statement, which he issued in response to Blake's premature declarations of victory, is clear. Miss Lively and her team's predictable declaration of victory is false. He goes on to point out that while some claims were dismissed, there are still 4 claims that remain active, and these claims will be further explored with additional evidence. This is a crucial point that needs to be emphasized because it shows the battle is far from over. One of the most serious allegations in this case is Blake's accusation of sexual harassment, SH, and retaliation. These are incredibly serious claims, and Blake has yet to provide evidence to back them up. In fact, Blake's team has described these allegations as untraceable, meaning they have no clear proof of what happened and they can't substantiate the claims made. This is a huge issue, as making such accusations without proof is not only harmful to the accused, but also undermines the credibility of those who have legitimate claims. Blake's legal strategy of portraying herself as a victim of a smear campaign is starting to fall apart. She's tried to make the case about her own emotional distress, but the legal process doesn't work that way. Accusations need evidence, and Blake has failed to deliver that evidence. It's clear that Justin's legal team is in a much stronger position now, and as Brian Friedman pointed out, Justin will march forward with confidence, ready to prove the truth. In addition to the claims of sexual harassment, there's also the issue of Blake's attempt to block Justin's team from deposing her. She tried to control the legal proceedings by picking which lawyer would be allowed to take her deposition, which is highly unusual. In legal cases, it's not common for a defendant to choose who can depose them. But Blake tried to play that card, and fortunately, the court didn't allow it. Now, Justin's legal team has the opportunity to depose Blake, and Brian Friedman will be the one taking that deposition. This is where things start to get really interesting. Blake Lively has claimed that she's been the victim of a smear campaign, but so far, her own legal team hasn't provided proof that her claims are legitimate. The evidence is on Justin's side, and the fact that he has the opportunity to depose Blake means that we're about to get more clarity on the situation. This could be a game changer, as it will allow Justin to get to the bottom of Blake's accusations and prove that his reputation has been damaged by false claims. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture here. The media has already started to spin the story in Blake's favor. They've painted her as the victim and tried to frame this as a win for her. But that couldn't be further from the truth. The legal process doesn't work like that. Just because a few claims were dismissed doesn't mean the whole case is over. And the fact that Justin's team still has 4 claims left in play means there's much more to come. We also have to consider the impact this case will have on future legal battles, especially when it comes to defamation and serious accusations. What we're seeing here is a high-profile legal drama, where the truth is still being uncovered. Blake's PR campaign may try to portray this as a victory, but the reality is that the legal process is far from over. Justin's lawyer is confident that they will prove the truth, and it's important to keep an eye on what happens next. This case is not just about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. It's about the legal system, the importance of evidence, and the damage that can be done by false accusations. Justin Baldoni deserves his day in court to clear his name and prove that he is not guilty of the things Blake Lively has accused him of. As we continue to follow this story, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments. The case isn't over, and there's much more to come. So stay tuned as we'll bring you the facts, the evidence, and the truth as it unfolds. Justin Baldoni's legal team is just getting started and will be here every step of the way to bring you the real story.
It was defamation. He felt this, the story was all part of a play to like end him, So he felt like he was done wrong. But a judge had said, like, look, at the time, her civil, what was it? She filed like a civil lawsuit.
Yes, because she said he smeared
civil
her,
rights lawsuit. And so
for
because
sexual harassment.
I believe so. So when she filed that, the judge basically said all those details were already, reachable in this civil rights lawsuit that Blake had filed. So the judge felt like it was okay and fair for the New York Times to do their story.
Okay. And now Brian Friedman, who is Baldoni's lawyer, he is spinning this as saying the court has invited them to amend 4 of the 7 claims, allowing them to present more evidence and refined allegations. But do you think that's just spin? Do you think that really what he's trying to say is we're screwed now? Or
The public narrative is being shaped, and it's crucial for everyone to understand that the legal process isn't as simple as it's being portrayed. This case is a reminder that facts matter more than public opinion, and the evidence will ultimately determine the outcome. What we're seeing now is the surface level of a much deeper legal battle. The media, unfortunately, tends to oversimplify complex legal issues, and it's essential to remember that Blake's PR campaign doesn't change the fact that the legal system works in a very specific way. This case is not just about a few claims. It's about the credibility of the accusations and the truth behind them. The world is watching, but the only thing that matters in the end is what happens in the courtroom. The truth is still unfolding, and it's clear that Justin Baldoni's legal team is just getting started. They're committed to exposing the facts and pushing forward with more evidence that could potentially turn the tide in this ongoing battle. As we continue to follow this story, we will be keeping a close eye on every new development. Justin Baldoni has yet to get the justice he deserves, and with 4 claims still in play, his legal team is far from finished. This fight will not be determined by PR statements or social media posts. It will be determined by what happens in court. The stakes are high, and as more evidence comes to light, it's becoming clearer that the final outcome is still to be decided. Blake Lively, despite her victory lap, has not provided the necessary evidence to prove her allegations. And as the legal proceedings continue, it's only a matter of time before more facts come to the surface. With depositions and additional claims to be explored, the next steps in this case will be crucial. Justin Baldoni's team is ready to ensure that every detail is examined, and they will not allow the media to dictate the narrative. The courtroom, where the truth will be revealed, is where this story will ultimately be decided.